What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. This is the 5th anniversary, actually, of the show, and I want to welcome back Mr. Brann Dailor of Mastodon. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I was going to say, you were one of the first episodes. You were like episode 8 or something like that 5 years ago, so I appreciate you coming back.
Hey, no problemo.
Yeah, man. Excited to see the new album Hushed and Grim is out, and I was listening to it. Actually, I've been listening to it this past weekend, every night. One of the darkest, moodiest, most melodic things I've ever heard. Tell me a little bit about, how long, because you said it's finally out. So how long have you guys been working on this?
Let's see, it's already November. My God.
Yeah.
But we started recording it for realsies a year ago.
A year ago, okay. And how long have you been writing it?
Couple years.
Couple years. How is it that I'm guessing, did you have a plan to put it out during the pandemic and then everything got put on hold, or like how did that affect it?
No, I think we were one of the lucky bands that we were already on our writing. We were in writing mode when the pandemic hit. So, we were just, I think when lockdown happened, which was March 21st of 2020, we had probably 6 or 7 fairly realized songs, if not half a song, it's usually kind of a, pretty methodical evolution, the way the music comes together.
Okay.
You get like 3 parts going and you're like, okay, but something's missing. I don't know what that is yet. We need a bridge, or we need an ending, or we need, so stuff is left sort of loosey-goosey. And then we had that 4-month break, basically, where we didn't get together. And then, but I think that, Brent was working on stuff, and Bill with the guitars and everything, they were working on their stuff. I played a little bit of drums, but we couldn't get together. So, but then in, I'd say July or so, late July, we got back together at our studio, and right back at it.
Okay. Well, I see that you spent the pandemic drawing clowns.
Yeah, I did that. That was the thing.
Yeah, you have a book coming out November 14th, 101 Clowns of the Coronavirus.
Yeah, the 101. Yeah, I drew 101 clowns in 101 days straight. I drew one every day, and it's pretty much what got me out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
There wasn't anything to do or nowhere to go, and so when the lockdown first happened, they said it was going to be about 14 days. So
yeah, I remember that. They're like, it's a couple of weeks. Like, nope.
2 weeks to slowly curve or whatever, or flatten the curve. Yeah. So, 10 days in, it was like, that's not happening. Mm. But, I drew the one clown, and then, I drew another one the next day, and then I said, oh, that's kind of fun. I sent them around to a couple people, and I said, here's a clown. I know everything's really weird right now, and all these people are dying, but look at this clown.
Yeah, it'll make you cheer you up.
Yeah, and then they got kind of dark and twisted and weird, and and they went on for 101 days straight until I finally put an end to it.
Well, I saw Revolver's doing like a book, T-shirt combo thing, like a bundle package where some of the designs, like I saw the clown Baphomet is on one of them. That's pretty cool. I thought that was a great idea, man. Because I know, last time we spoke, you mentioned that you have a clown room, you have a fascination with clowns, and as creepy as that might be for some people, I think people forget, like, all these horror movies have made people kind of freak out around clowns, but clowns are meant to make people feel better.
Yeah. But I kind of, there's something about, I kind of like the idea that people get freaked out by them. It's kind of fun, you know, especially to have somebody over and make them go in the clown room. They're like, oh God, I can't be in here. And so I like to pretend that I don't understand why and all that good stuff.
But why? Clowns are nice. They're
polite.
You
don't like that? Yeah. Don't trust anything with a fixed smile, right?
Right. Oh my goodness.
Dolphins?
Yeah. I don't hate clowns, like the traditional, like bozo type clowns. I don't hate them, but when I was a little kid, the family took me to Cirque du Soleil, and they used to do this thing where they would come into the audience and take kids and put them on stage. But when they grabbed me, I freaked out.
That's terrible. That's awful. I don't want to be plucked out of the audience and put on stage as an adult. I don't want to have anything to do with audience participation. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I don't like it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Please don't pick me. Please don't pick me to do anything. I don't want to get up there and do anything. Yeah. So I get that. I mean, when I was a kid, I went to the circus with my grandfather, and he was a Shriner, so he had access to the backstage. So we went back there and saw the clowns putting their makeup on. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. I don't know. I like the clowns, but I get why people are freaked out by them. I mean, when you're a kid, a lot of times even Santa Claus makes you pretty scared. So I get
Santa Claus.
Yeah, a lot of kids
Santa Claus.
I wasn't, but I know that kids are nervous to go. It's intimidating to go when they go to the mall to meet them, and they're real little, like they're 4 or 5 years old. They might, a lot of criers, and maybe might piss themselves when they meet Santa Claus. And one time I went to it was right around the time that Empire Strikes Back came out. It was in 1981, I think, and a local grocery store called Wegmans was hosting Darth Vader, was going to be there and meet kids, right?
What?
Is that a good idea? And
yes, the villain of a movie.
I still have this autographed 8x10 with like perfect cursive writing, says Darth Vader. It's pretty fun. So we get there, and I'm like bragging to everybody at school that I'm going to go meet Darth Vader later, and so I'm kind of a big deal. And I get there, and they start playing the Darth Vader's theme over the grocery store's speaker system, and I realized that it's fucking Darth Vader for real. It's like about to come out, and I lose it. Like I start crying. I want to get out of there. I'm pretty sure I pissed myself.
He's gonna force choke you.
My mom took me out and put me back in the station wagon, went back and got the autographed picture, and we got out of there. But, so, and I guess you could understand more so being afraid of Darth Vader than a clown or Santa Claus. But as children, you go and meet these mascots or whatever, and they're big, goofy looking things, and they sometimes scare the shit out of little kids.
Absolutely. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese used to scare the crap out of me. I would, whenever they would take me there as a kid, I would avoid the stage area with the weird robots and just go straight to the arcade area of the place. But would that be the most traumatizing thing for your childhood? Like, what was the scariest thing in your childhood, do you think?
I can't get into that.
Oh, okay.
But
in terms of like we were talking about clowns and like Santa, and was there something that stereotypically shouldn't be scary but it scared you?
I don't think so.
Easter Bunny.
No, I was all good with it. And we went to meet Santa Claus one time at I think it was called Midtown Mall in Rochester, and my sister pulled the beard off of Santa Claus, and it was a big ordeal. It was like, and I could see the stitching in the middle of the beard, and I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but my sister just reached up and was like, yank, and just came right off the guy's face.
I could see how that could be scary, because I mean, it ruins the
image. It wasn't scary. It was like she was, she saw what I saw. This kind of, it was a fake beard, And she just wasn't having it. So she just ripped the thing off the guy's face. And then there was a big gasp from the line of kids that were coming up next, he had been unmasked.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of damage control, a lot of fake elves running around trying to usher us off of there. And yeah, it was a problem.
I see. Hey, going back a little bit to the album, man, I saw on your Instagram, there was a post of behind the scenes, behind the album kind of deal. And I saw our buddy Dave Witte is on the album.
Yeah.
What track?
It's a song called Dagger.
Okay.
And he plays, he helped out with some tribal drumming on that. That track itself was, it's a little weirder and kind of, I guess when you do a double album, you have that much real estate. You can mess around and do some different things. Whereas in a conventional, 55-minute long album, maybe, I don't know if Dagger would have made the cut,
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we decided to do the double album, is because we had all this material, and, people can either sit and listen to the whole thing, or they don't have to,
Sure,
it's up to them. But we just wanted to put it all out there just because we had it, and we didn't want to sit on anything, and we just felt like it all felt good together to us, and so we put it out there. And so when doing that, you have some opportunities to make some cool different things, and this was something that Troy wrote, but then there was this kind of, just had this very tribal sounding rhythm that was, it just very kind of trance-like, and so it was a perfect opportunity to do some sort of tribal drumming and bring in some Eastern influence as far as the musician or the instruments. And so I asked Dave to come down and lend a hand, because I don't know, I love Dave, and we've been good friends since I was maybe 16 or so, and I met him.
Wow.
His old band, Human Remains, played in my basement.
Nice.
Club Brann. For those that remember.
Nice, man.
Club Brann. I used to have shows in my basement. I was one of those houses that had basement shows. Kind of before that was really a thing, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. OG.
Kind of dropping the OG tag. There wasn't really any. It just was a mistake, really. It was like. That's where we practiced, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where my band practiced. And so it was like, these guys are coming up from New Jersey, and they're going to play Niagara Falls, and they need a place to stay. And so we decided to have a party and have the bands that were coming up play. And then I started getting phone calls from people trying to book shows, thinking that it was a club. But it was my mom's house. Yeah.
That's great.
So, anyways, Dave's a longtime friend, and
one of the best humans on the planet. I tell you, I say it often here on the show. Dave is one of the best people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love him. He's a dear friend, and I don't know that I'd honestly be where I'd be if it wasn't for Dave, because he was so instrumental, and just like. When I was in this band called Lethargy for many years with my good friend Eric Burke, and Bill was in the band as well. And we were kind of, it was 1997, and we were kind of experiencing sort of a lull in activity. And Dave had been asked to join Today's the Day, and he was in so many bands that he just couldn't fit it in, but he was like, Brann, what are you doing? You should play drums for this band. It would be perfect, And so I went and auditioned, and I got in Today's the Day. And, from there I kind of, went on tour with Today's the Day and experienced what that life was like. And then it sort of led to moving to Atlanta to start Mastodon, I mean, I did all the work, of course, but if it wasn't for Dave sort of pushing me off the ledge a little bit, I don't know that I would have found that opportunity, so.
Absolutely.
So anyways, having Dave come and stay at the house and go do some tribal drumming with me, and just to get him on the album was just an awesome thing to be able to do.
Yeah, man, I got super excited when I saw that. I was, I know that he loves, like you said, tribal drumming. He's done these big, crazy drum circles with like 100 people, and he's done some tribal stuff where he gets everybody on stage with brain tentacles, and
yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, that thing is great, man.
Yeah.
It's also
cool.
It's cool too that you got, you mentioned putting out a double album. Like that's one thing I've never really understood from bands. Even being in a band for
double albums.
No. Not putting out songs. Like, I get that sometimes you write something and at the end of the day it doesn't fit in the album. But for me, when we were writing music, it was always we get whatever we are working on, we have to put that out. Like, there's no way we're putting that aside. So I've never really gotten the whole like B-sides thing. Like, why would you throw away a song? I guess, but
I guess I mean, and I've already seen criticisms of our newest album for being too long, you know what I mean? And so there are people that are like, they get bored, it's too much. And I totally understand that, so I think that's why, I think that an artist is also going to sit and take into consideration the listener's feelings, which is, I don't know if that's like the right way to approach your art. Like I don't know that you need to be thinking about, because you don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's the one person on one side it loves the whole thing and from start to finish. Oh, I love this, and I don't mind that. I love that it's this long, and I love that, and this person on this side is saying, I hate that it's that long. I wish you should have cut this much off of it, and then I would have loved it, but you're like, so what you're like chasing at that point. So it doesn't really make any sense. So you just kind of stay true to yourself, stay true to your artistic vision. And then the criticism that comes from it, let it roll off your duck back.
Yeah. You can't really please everyone. That's a hard one. Like the more content, the better, the more songs, the better for me. And I've been, this year has been a blessing in terms of music. We've had such a rough couple of years with all this crap with the pandemic and all the other stuff that happened that, getting all this music this year alone, there's been, every time a new album comes out that I really like, I'm like, oh, this album of the year. And then like, wait, there's a new Mastodon? Great. And that's my album of the year. Like Gojira and, Turnstile and Every Time I Die. Like, all these bands are dropping these ridiculous, and Every Time I Die put like 17 songs out too. So it's one of those things that I think the more the merrier for me. I'm not going to be one to criticize a band for making the album too long. That's crazy.
I just don't criticize bands, and I don't criticize music really at all. Yeah,
that's a good way to do it too. That's a good way to do it.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about anybody else's art that they make. If I don't listen to it, I don't listen to it. I'm not talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about Witte and your new album. There's 3 new beers?
4
new beers? I got Savage Lands from Thin Man Brewing, Gigantium from Widowmaker, Tear Drinker from 3 Taverns. Which was the 4th one?
It's a brewery here in Atlanta called Scepter, and it's a Sickle and Peace, which is a triple dry hopped pale ale at 4.8. Triple dry hopped pale ale.
Okay. So is the plan to have a beer for every song on the album?
That would be cool.
I think, is that the pinnacle?
It's definitely doable, but we started out like out of the gate with 4, and we kind of spread kind of couple, one from Buffalo, from the the area that Bill and I are from.
Okay.
And then I just met the Widowmaker guys at a beer fest here in Atlanta called the Little Beer Fest. That was like all Pilsners and lagers and light guys,
crispy
and they
boys.
came over. They came over to the house and hung out, and we listened to the record and drank some beers over at my house, and just made friends with those guys. And then they sent me some beers, and I was like, holy shit, really good stuff.
Nice.
Some proper hazies. So yeah.
Is that what you're drinking these days? Like, what's your favorite? Because I noticed that all those 3 that I mentioned are IPAs.
They're all hazy IPAs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wanted to do four hazy guys. That's usually what I'm craving. You know what I mean?
Okay. You didn't fall into the lager pilsner debacle that all the everybody that I know that's into craft beer is now all about the crispy boys, the lagers.
Crispy boys. I like crispy boys in the summertime. You know, I can definitely go down the crispy boy road. I'm into it. Some great beer. There's a brewery in town called Halfway Crooks that makes some really, really great pilsners and lagers, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going for whatever your nice 6% hazy guy is, you know, somewhere in that area. I'll rock a double here and there, and but I try to keep it. I want to be able to hang out, have a couple.
Yeah, yeah. The doubles. I can't do too many double. I could do like maybe 2 in one session, but they start to really creep up on you when you're pounding like a 6-pack. Of these, like, God, no! 8%.
Can't do that.
Have you gotten into home brewing at all?
No, I don't. I mean, you know, I probably would have been a good thing over the pandemic to get into, but I stuck with the clowns instead.
So I know you love beer. So has that ever been an interest of yours? Like, have you just not gone that nerdy in terms of home brewing and making your own beur?
I just haven't. Yeah, I leave it up to the experts. I just enjoy it. I don't know, man. For me, it's like, man, I can't even find the hours in the day to do what I'm doing now, you know? So I don't know how I'm not sure how I'd fit another hobby in.
That's true. So what's a typical day for you? I mean, since I know that during the album recording cycle, it's a lot busier and you have schedules to go into, but now that the album's out and you're not on tour yet, you're about to go on tour, you know, what does a typical day look like at home away from both of those things?
It's rehearsals now.
Okay.
And trying to figure out how to play the new songs because they got recorded a year ago. And then when we did go back to playing some live shows, we did like 5 festivals over the last few months. Weren't really playing any new stuff, so we were like trying to, get back in the groove of the old stuff. And then, so now we practice every day. But like as soon as I get up, I mean, I've been doing press every day, so I get up in the morning, I go downstairs. My dog is 11 years old. And he's lost control of a lot of his bodily functions. And so he usually leaves me a nice offering in the morning. So I clean poop. I get the blanket up off the couch. I put that in the wash. I feed the dog. I feed him. I make coffee. And then usually do a workout and do some interviews, head to practice for a few hours, 3-4 hours, and then I come home and it's time to think about making dinner.
Okay.
And then I watch my stories. Well, tonight I'm having some people over to watch the World Series to see if the Braves can actually do it because it's Atlanta's up in there, and so we got some sports ball pals that are coming over and probably have a few tear drinkers and watch the game.
That's awesome.
And then and Troy's coming over to do that. And then tomorrow I'll do it all over again.
Jeez. Well, when you say watch your stories, what are you watching?
Oh, whatever. I guess last night I watched another episode of Impeachment, which is the Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, okay. I saw the poster for that. That looked interesting. Like
FX.
It's interesting that they would call it that. And, when I saw the banner, I thought it was about the last president.
Right.
But then I saw the blue dress. I'm like, oh, okay.
Unfortunate situation there.
Yeah. I haven't seen the show.
That or whatever. I don't know. Whatever's on, whatever's going on.
Okay.
True crime. I've been rewatching The Wire. I went and rewatched some older gems that
All right.
The Wire's always good. Because I watched the entirety of The Wire, and then a couple of years later, 5-6 years goes by, you start watching it again. You're like, I don't remember almost any of this. I remember a couple moments, but I'm not sure what happens here.
Yeah, it's weird how that works out. I did that with The Sopranos. Like I watched it when it came out, and then many years later, I showed it to my wife, and as I'm watching, I'm like, man, I don't remember any of this. What's happening?
Exactly. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So going back to, I mentioned the tour. You're going on tour with Opeth and Zeal and Ardor.
Yeah.
How have you heard Zeal and Ardor? Are you excited to have them on? I mean, I had them on the show when they dropped that last album, and my God, what a unique and awesome thing they are.
Yeah, they're so cool, and yeah, we're so stoked to have them with us because I think it's 3 unique, really super unique bands. So it's not like some tours you got to get same, you know. Well,
right, yeah.
What some people like, but I think that our fan base, maybe they want some more variety. So Zeal and Ardor and Opeth offer that, you know, juxtaposed between what we do. Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be a very interesting and fun evening.
So when you came back, you said you played a few festivals. I know you played Psycho. That wasn't your first, the first one, right?
It was, yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
How was that for you, like, you know, coming back after what appeared to be the end of the world?
Right, yeah. It was a little nerve-wracking, you know. We were kind of short notice, you know. There was a bunch of bands that got held up at the European border that couldn't get in, so they didn't have visas or something. I can't really remember exactly what the problem was or what happened there, but also knows we got the call a couple weeks prior, and so we had to put together a set list and get to work. Said, "Oh, you're headlining this one night." I'm like, "Oh, sweet."
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, I'd really like to slide in for a nice 45-minute set to start things off. You know, work our way up to the headlining set." But it's all good. We had some lasers, and yeah, it was fun. You know, like I said, I mean, anytime we have any kind of extended break and then come back to a festival situation or some kind of, you know, playing live, it's always a little bit more butterflies, you know, to get out there.
Yeah.
But it did remind me of what I actually do for a living, as opposed to, like, you know, hanging out at home and making records. I'm like, oh yeah, we're like a live band and we play live. Sweet. This is good. So yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun to be in front of people again, and I could tell that they were having a good time. So it was good.
That's good, man. I mean, I was really worried during the pandemic for people like, you know, for yourself, for bands that, you know, can't do what you do for a living. That's got to be taxing, not just financially, but, you know, mentally. And you also, on top of that, you're dealing with, you know, what the subject matter of the album, which is, you know, the passing of a close friend. And, you know, I wanted to see how you're doing, like, mental health wise. Like, are you doing all right? I mean, what was that for you? You know, have you moved past that now? Are you back to normal, as they say?
I don't know. I guess so. I'm in the ballpark of normal.
In the ballpark, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my moments of depression and stuff like most people do. But nothing unsurmountable, and I'm, you know, not like in therapy or anything. Maybe I should be, but at the moment, I'm good.
You get to therapy, you're like, so I drew 101 clowns over the pandemic. They're like,
yeah,
oh shit,
like, lock this dude up.
Yeah,
you're done. No. You're done. I don't know. I'm fine.
Yeah. Are there any? Have you ever had, like? And I don't want to touch on a touchy subject, but just, have you had any reservations? Because, you know, Crack the Sky was also around a death, and so was the one before this one. I forget the name right now. I'm losing it.
Emperor of Sand
was also around, you know, the passing of some family members for some of the band members. Like, is there any reservations to writing music like this that's so emotionally entangling? Like, when you're on stage, you know, does it bring these memories? Like, I don't know. I would feel it would be damaging for me personally to be on stage thinking about these topics over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's only in hindsight, that you ask yourself, what have you done?
Yeah.
Even just that practice, like yesterday, I was like it's like, man, I need to like stop. I can't think about the lyrics while I'm singing them, I guess, but it's hard not to at the moment. Hopefully it'll get easier as it goes on. So, but yeah, they're difficult songs to sing, not only physically, but just, emotionally. But you don't want to completely take yourself out of it, so you're not delivering that emotional performance. So there's a fine line that needs to be kind of straddled, and it's not easy, I guess. I'm finding it at practice. It's been like sort of similar to how it was like trying to record them in the studio. But it's hard to put yourself out there like that too. It's tough to be vulnerable like that and kind of let everybody know where you're at, and then have them poo-poo it. You know what I mean? Right. Especially, you've like put so much of your emotional self out there to be stomped on. It's, I mean, it's fine. It's okay. But yeah, it's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, we live in such a...
So you sort of second guess yourself after the fact. Maybe I should have been more guarded. If I didn't want to like leave myself open that big, or I don't know. So
I don't think so. I don't think that's
sort of unavoidable. I think the payoff will be better than whatever the criticisms are. As much as those are sort of painful to hear, and you get bummed out if people don't like it, or which is totally understandable. I understand that people desire this really heavy version of us, but we just when we go into a writing situation, we're not really concerned with that. We just sort of write what we are, and we follow whatever we're digging on. And so yeah, I mean, I totally understand if people want this other version, and they feel like they got duped somehow if we present them with, something that's slower and more chill. They're like, I don't want to chill to Mastodon. I want to rage to Mastodon. I said, I'm sorry, we were chilling. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's important for you to put yourself out there like that. I know that, yes, like you said, we live in a time where people like to poo-poo on everything, but you can't really read the comments section. You can't focus on that. Because
yeah, I know. I need to stop doing that.
I mean, I'll tell you what. The first comment I heard about the album was that this is my favorite Mastodon album. It wasn't me. It was I love it, but I'm saying like one of my buddies was like, "This is my favorite. This might be my favorite Mastodon album." So it's not it's not that it's being poorly received or anything like that. There's always going to be people shitting on everything all the time.
Yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. So I'm thankful for that. For sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you were talking about difficult to play emotionally, but physically, you're doing a lot more singing this time. And is this the most singing you've done on an album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What is the hardest thing? Like, which song right now would be the hardest one for you to pull off, live singing and playing drums at the same time? Because I don't even know how you do that.
I guess, The Beast on this album, I've been practicing that one, and it's just got some tricky rhythms. I just need to figure out. It's a lot of math I have to do. Like, I have to be like, okay, when my snare hits this part, I should be on this syllable. So I have to it's almost like I'm using my vocals as another percussion instrument. The way that I line them up in my mind, so I have the arms and the legs going, and then this is also percussion, or my voice is percussion. The way that I line it up, that's why if you listen to any of my vocals, it's very deliberate. The way the spacing is rhythmic, so that I can do it and line it up as drums, basically, in my head.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, do you actually keep that in mind when you're writing the vocals? Like, is there a song that you've written that maybe you can't pull off because there's just too much timing going on? You know, but it's good to.
Well, there was like I think "Sleep in the Deep" was one that I couldn't do at first, and so we shied away from playing it live because I was like, I just can't do it, you know. But I worked on it for a couple of years, and we played it live at the Adult Swim Festival thing, and then we did it at the Georgia Aquarium, and so it'll be a song that we can do live now. I figured out how to do it.
Okay, that's good.
I've been gotten better at the singing and playing. I think.
I think so too. I mean, you've just seen.
I'll leave it to everyone else to tell me.
I wanted to also comment on a thing because I'm a giant wrestling nerd, and I saw you wearing a Roddy Piper shirt on a recent post somewhere, and you know, are you into pro wrestling at all, or was that just because of the They Live connection there?
Yeah, that's probably the They Live connection.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you know, I like him as a character, and I like the '80s wrestling characters. I think that for me, they're the most fun.
Yeah.
Almost cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good time. But even as a kid, I wasn't really into the wrestling. I was like, get mad at my friends and telling them, because if they had just admitted that it was that everybody was role playing and that it was like this show, I think I would have been fine with it. But it would anger me that they were insisting to me that it was all very real.
So we got cut off with the wrestling talk, but that's fine. Just wanted to wrap it up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on for the 5th anniversary, man. I'm excited to possibly see you guys here in LA soon with Opeth and Zeal and Ardor. For everybody that's listening, please check out Hushed and Grim. I said that backwards for some reason. And and it's a fantastic album. Don't worry about the comment section, like I said. But if everybody's, you don't have Cremail anymore. What happened?
Oh, I got out of there.
You got out of there. I was going to say, like, you used to have Cremail, which I thought was a fantastic Instagram name, but
I did too. And when I started, it was just a brand new little thing and cool little picture sharing site, and I got pretty good at it. You know, I had some funny content and everything, but then I had to get out of there.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It's a pretty toxic place for sure.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, follow at Mastodon Rocks on Instagram. I think Mastodon Music on Twitter. Do you have anything else you want to add at the end, like to promote?
Just those 4 awesome beers.
Those 4 awesome beers. Yes, go check them out.
Gigantium by Widowmaker. Sickle and Peace by Scepter here in Georgia. 3 Taverns put out Tear Drinker, and Savage Lands by Thin Man out of Buffalo. Yeah. 4 superb hazy boys, hazy IPAs, and check them out.
I'm gonna reach out to them, see if we can get some on the show to drink. But yeah, brother, thank you again, and everyone, go watch Mastodon live. Go pick up the album. Stop fucking around.
Yeah, stop fucking around.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Later.